Hello guys, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. This is Mohsin Azam interacting with you from my YouTube channel Business Innovation. Today we are going to start our sixth lesson, Planning Engineer and Primavera P6 tutorials. In today's lesson we will discuss OBS, which is Organization Breakdown Structure. Then we will define a project in P6 and then we will discuss Work Breakdown Structure. So first of all we will start with Organization Breakdown Structure. Organization Breakdown Structure is actually the hierarchy of an organization. As we discussed before, EPS, which was the hierarchy of the project and the program in an organization, but OBS is actually the hierarchy of organization. So as it is written here, that hierarchical model describes the established organization framework, that how the organization is formed for the project planning, the resource management, time and expense tracking, cost allocation, profit reporting, and work management. Organization have multiple departments, as we know, contract, planning, and account, etc. They all are interacting between each other. So every organization have different department like HR, planning, etc. And they will interact with certain framework with each other. There will be some proper framework for the interaction between these departments. OBS is actually the hierarchical representation of organization so that we can understand that how resources are organized and how they are working together. At the time of planning of any project, the responsible manager from any department will give the input for the timeline of any activity and he will be responsible for the execution of that activity within allocated time. So at the time of planning for any project, as it's written here, the responsible management or manager from their department will give the input, means the time for the any activity related to their department, and he will be responsible for the execution of that work. OBS will give a clear image that who will be reporting manager for any member. Okay, now we have a general example here, and this we have to create in Primavera P6 also. We have here an organization breakdown structure, which is starting from the managing director, which is the MD of the organization. Under MD we have HR manager, we have project manager, and we have quality manager. These all are the manager who is reporting to managing directors. And then under project manager we have further construction manager and procurement manager and planning manager. So this is actually a simple organization breakdown structure. So now we have to create the same organization breakdown structure in Primavera P6. So what we will do, we'll open Primavera P6. This is actually the EPS which was created in the last lesson. Now we will click here enterprise and we have here organization breakdown structure. Here I will start writing. The first is already defined here. I will change the name here as a managing director, and then by clicking add, okay, now I will define here HR manager, then I will click add again, and here I will write here project manager, and then I will click, I can click insert directly from the keyboard, and I will define here quality manager, and then under project manager I have to define further. So I click here insert, and here we have the arrow. I will click here the arrow towards the right. Okay, because we have under project manager we have three manager further: construction manager, procurement manager, and planning manager. So here I will define here first construction manager. Click insert again from my keyboard, and here I will define planning manager. Click insert again, and here I will define procurement manager. So this is now the OBS created in Primavera P6 for my organization. I will close this window. Now next is define a project in P6. So how we can define a project in P6? The first from the files under P6 we have to click new. So create new project window will be open. A new create new project window will be open, or the second option is from the EPS window you can add, delete, cut and copy the project. Okay, so what we will do, first of all go to file. The first procedure is we have to go to file and then I can click here. This is the project symbol and the plus signal sign means that it is for the creating new project, or you can click Ctrl N to create new project. I will click here new. By clicking new, see a new window will be appear. What it is asking? It is asking select an EPS, which is written here. So you have to select the EPS under which EPS you want to create this project. So I want to create this project under civil department and infrastructure division. So what I will do, I will click here this and I will select the EPS and I will click here. We have here the add button and here the close button. So by clicking add, see the infrastructure department is, or the sector is added here, and then I will click next. Now the next is we have to define the project ID and the project name. So project ID I will define here is RDPR, and here I will define road work project. Anything you can define, and now you can click here next. The next is define planned start of the project. What is the planned start? The planned start will be the commencement date as per the contract. So as we discussed before that there will be one commencement date of the contract. So here the planned start will be the commencement date, and you should have to define the must finish date also. Must finish date is actually the completion date of the project as per the contract. So what you have to do, you have to define here the planned start, which is today's date 14 August. Let's say we'll consider this is our contract commencement date, and must finish is, for example, after 1 year. So this is the calendar. I will click here. So now my completion is same August in the next year 23 and same 14. So this is actually 1 year project. These plans start and must finish you can change later on also. Now the next is define the responsible manager for the project from the OBS. So OBS we will create just now. Now we have to select the responsible manager for this project. So here what we will do, click here, and here project manager I will consider him as a responsible manager for this project, and I will click here this select option, and now I will click next. Okay, now we have defined rate type. So rate type is price per unit. This we will consider as same, and I will click next. Okay, finally the project will be created by clicking finish. So by clicking now finish, this project will be created here. See, now this is the project symbol and this is created under the infrastructure division. The project name ID was RD, and this is road work project. This project will now be added to the selected APS, which we witness here that now we have a project inside the infrastructure division of our organization. This project, okay, file, open to run the project, or select the project and click open. So now from the file you can go to open and you can select the project and you can click open, or just by selecting the project and clicking Ctrl O, select the project and click open. So now see, this project is now open. Okay, next, after creating new project, the following from the project details. General, we have to click general. So okay, we will go to the project window again. This is actually the project window. This is the symbol for the project. So you have to check in general. We have here project name and ID, status of the project, and responsible manager. From the general you can see here the project ID, and you can change here the project ID also. The active this is status, which is active, and the project name you can also change from here, and the responsible manager can also be changed here. We have the same OBS here, so we can change the responsible manager also. And what else we can witness? Okay, from the default there are some default setting for the new project, i.e. the type of activity, duration type, calendar for the activity, and numbering system for the activity. So here from the default we have here duration type, which is fixed duration and unit. There are different other types, these we will discuss later on, but this you can change from here. We have percent completion, which is duration and activity type also. These all we will discuss later on, but you can change from here. And the calendar we can change. This is actually the calendar we did not define up to now, but the calendar you can check from here for the project. And the important thing is the activity ID. So the numbering of the activity ID, you can by default you can set from here. We have here the activity ID prefix, which is A. You can make it AB also, and the suffix can be 10,000 also, and the increment you can make it 5 or 10. This is your choice. So you can set for the activity ID. After creating the project, you have to define the activities in the project. So for the activities, the numbering system can be set by default from here. Okay, the next is setting, project setting, critical activity. Either all the activities have float less than 0 or the activity on the longer path. So this is actually the critical path. We will not understand now, but here we can change. This is define critical activity. What activity will be called as a critical activity? So this is actually you can define here that all the activities on the longest path will be considered as critical activity, or the total float less than or equal to 0 hours. So all the activities for which the float is less than 0 hours can also be considered as a critical. So this is your choice. Either you can make all the activities which is allocated or belongs to the longest path can be considered as critical activity, or all the activities for which the float is less than 0 hours can be considered as critical activity. This is your choice, which calculation method you want to keep in the P6. This you can keep by default from here. So these are some general setting which you can check, but these we cannot actually witness now, because first of all we have to create the work breakdown structure in the P6, and then we have to define the activities. After this, these options step by step we will discuss. Okay, next is work breakdown structure. What is actually work breakdown structure? As per the Project Management Institute, PMBOK, which is basically an institute for the project manager, defined that a deliverable oriented. What is actually the deliverable? First of all, deliverable is a project or service. Deliverable is any product or service or result created at various stages of the project. A deliverable is a tangible or intangible. These services or product can be tangible or intangible. Tangible means if the project or the product have any physical shape, or intangible. Intangible means like a software or the service product as a result of the project that is intended to be delivered to a customer. So any product or service is created for a customer. What is actually a WBS? As per the PMBOK, a deliverable oriented hierarchical decomposition of the work to be executed by the project team. So this is basically the hierarchical decomposition or the breakdown of the work which should be executed by the project team to accomplish the project objective. So this is actually the breakdown structure of the work which should be executed by the project team to complete the project, to achieve the project objective and create the required deliverable. As we discussed before, that it is actually a product or service. It organize and define the total scope of the project. Work breakdown will organize and define the total scope of the project. Each descending level represent an increasingly detailed definition of the project work. So each category of the WBS will further explain the project scope. The WBS is decomposed into work packages. Work package is actually the smallest activity which we are performing on daily basis, which in Primavera we will call as a activity. The deliverable orientation of the hierarchy include both internal and external deliverable. So the deliverables are the output can be external means for the customers, and it can be internal for the organization. Common term use deliverable. As we discussed, this is a product or service created at a very stages of the project. For example, if you have to construct a building, so a wall or a one room in a building is actually a product of a project. Budget is expense associated with the project. So the amount associated with this project will be called as budget. And phase is the various stages of the project. Milestone is the critical stage of the project identified in the WBS. Now we have to create one WBS in P6. So this is one general example. We have construction WBS sample 1, and in this further we have contract milestone, submittals, design and engineering, procurement, pre-construction, and then in construction we have area 1, area 2, and area 3. And in area 1 we have then further discipline A, discipline B, and same in area 2. And then in discipline A we have work package 1, 2, and same in discipline B. So this WBS now we have to create in our project. So for example, now what we will do, we have the project now here. Select the project and we can click Ctrl O and we can open the project. Now this project is open. Now here we have this sign which is actually WBS, or here in the enterprise, sorry, in the project we have WBS here. So by clicking WBS from here, or from here we have the same symbol for WBS. By clicking that, a new window will be open, which is written here, the WBS window. So now from here we can start creating our WBS. So what we will do, here we have plus sign to add WBS, or you can click insert from your keyboard. So a WBS category will be added. So under this road work project, now we will start creating our WBS. So this is actually the name. Now we have contract milestone and submittals. So here I will write here now contract milestone. Now I will click insert again from my keyboard, and here I will click this arrow, and now I will write here the second, and I will submittals, and I will click insert again this arrow, design and engineering and procurement. Click insert again, click this arrow. See, the level is same for all the WBS level. This is actually the level 1 of WBS, and here I will write procurement, insert, and now pre-construction, construction, and reconstruction. Click here this arrow. Now I will here define construction. Click insert again with this arrow, and here testing and testing and commission. So if you see here for this WBS, this is actually the level 1. The level for all these work packages are same. Now the next we'll define here the second level, which is area 1, area 2, and area 3 under construction. So this is what we will do under construction. Now we'll click here insert, and now here area 1, insert again, bring it out, and area 2, again click insert, and area 3. This is now the second level, which is under construction. So under construction now we have level 2, which is area 1, area 2, area 3. Now further in areas we have to define discipline A, discipline B, discipline A, discipline B, and then work package 1A, 1B. So here under area 1 I will define now DSCIPLIN -1, and insert, move towards out, DSCIPLIN -2. So I will copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Now same in area 2, insert, Ctrl V, discipline 1, insert, Ctrl V, like that. Now under discipline 1 further we will define the activities which will be in our upcoming lesson. So if you see here now, this is actually our WBS. We have here this is the project with the name, this is the ID, and the project name is road work project, and the responsible manager for that is project manager. And here we have construction milestones, and submittal, design and engineering, procurement, pre-construction, construction. This is in level 2, and further in level 3 we have area 1, and in area 1 further we have discipline 1, discipline 2, and similarly area 2, and in area 2 we have discipline 1 and discipline 2. In area 3 we don't have any discipline. So this is actually the work breakdown structure for our project. So like this we can create the work breakdown structure. So that's it for today. So in today's discussion, first of all we discuss from enterprise organization breakdown structure which we create here, and after creating this, we create a project in Primavera P6, and after creating a project, we define our WBS work breakdown structure, which is visible here now. If you see here, we have project manager responsible for the project, and we have project manager responsible for all the WBSs. The responsible manager you can change for each WBS also. For example, if you go to the WBS, and here from the WBS window, you see here for the procurement, you want to change the responsible manager. So here we have the responsible manager by clicking this, and here we have procurement manager. We will select this for the procurement, and for the construction we will define the same. So now if you see here now the project manager for the submittals, now the responsible manager is quality manager. So like this you can change the responsible manager for each work breakdown structure, each element of work breakdown structure. So that's it for today. If you like the video, please subscribe my YouTube channel Business Innovation and follow my Facebook page. Thanks for watching.